Welcome back to another SMITE video, and it has been a very long time since I've said those words. Now, if you guys are returning subscribers and are wondering where I've been and what's been going on and why haven't I been uploading SMITE videos and Paladin videos, I'm not going to get into that in the video just to save time and not bore people. I'll write a comment down in the bottom and pin it if you're interested in reading that. Otherwise, for the people that are just here for the update, I'm going to get started. So in this video, it is going to be the Trickster God, the 7.10 update, and the big reason why I've decided to go ahead and return on making videos out on this update is because I was a big Loki fan. Yeah, I was the scumbag. He was like one of the first gods I ever played because it's Loki. Doesn't everyone start out playing Loki at some point? So I just thought since he's getting a rework, I'm getting back into SMITE. So that is what's going on. So obviously the new Loki rework is going to be going on in this update, but we're not going to get to that just yet because we have some skins here first. So first up in the Odyssey, we're going to have 3 different skins. The first one is a Gummy Worm Medusa, which the audio is not working on that one. Sniper Tech Raw. No audio there either, unless something's wrong on my end. And then Primal Spirit Carnunos. So that's going to be the Odyssey reward. These two are going to be in the Odyssey. Next up, we have 2 skins coming in the Halloween chest. First one is Vampirus Amaterasu, and this gives me big time Elizabeth Bathory vibes. If you guys know the lore of who that is, or if you've seen the movie Stay Alive, they based that movie on her as well, even with the broken mirror there. So just big time vibes right there. Next up, we have Pumpkin Spice Discordia. And then obviously Loki is going to get a recolor. Not really changing the way he looks, just going to change the color of it and everything. Next up, we have the release schedule here. So on September 22nd is going to be the 7.9 bonus update, which I will go over quickly first before we start this update. And then October 6th is going to be the Trickster God update, which will be what we will be going over in this patch. And then on October 20th will be the 7.10 bonus update, which we don't have information on that first. So before we get into anything else, I want to go over quickly the 7.9 bonus update. We're going to have some new skins in here as well. We have the Cybernetic Uller skin, which is going to be in the Fighting Machine chest.
I worked my way up on the bloody jobs no one wanted. Made a killing.
We also have Blobkiss Bacchus. This looks really awesome here.
Oh, Blobkiss is like a book, but bigger. And not new news.
That voice pack is fantastic. Dark Lord Shock, which reminds me a lot of, was it Dark Lord Wukong? Whatever that Wukong skin was called.
What is a robot's favorite type of music? Heavy metal.
So this is going to be exclusive to the Odyssey as well. The Bacchus will be in the Slime Blob chest. We also have Gambit Queen Hera, which will be in the Odyssey as well.
You could play against me, but Lady Luck has never left my side.
And then Code Eater Bakasura, which will be in the Prime Gaming.
I always keep a spider in this container. He's my webmaster.
So we're going to have some god balances coming to this update as well, which again will be live on September 22nd. Glorious Charge for Amaterasu, getting decreased base damage, used to scale from 70 to 310, is now 60 to 300, so getting minus 10 on every one. Dazzling Offense, decreased base damage, used to scale from 80 to 260, is now 80 to 240. Same early game, just less on the later game. Cthulhu Sever is getting decreased base damage, used to be scaling from 100 to 340, is now 100 to 320. And decreased magical power scaling from 30% to 25%. Cupid's Share the Love is also going to get changes. We see a decrease in physical power scaling of the heal, used to be 20%, is now 20% per heart, which used to be 75% total, is now 60% total. Freya's Valkyrie Discretion also getting a decreased damage, used to scale from 100 to 240, is now 90 to 230. Hunbatz's Fear No Evil increased the cooldown, used to scale from 100 down to 90, now starts at 110 down to 100, so it looks like it gets plus 10 seconds on each rank there. Rom's Astral Strike gets a decreased slow duration, used to be 2 seconds, is now 1.5 seconds. So like I said, all of these updates, as well as these skins up here, will be coming in the 7.9 bonus update on September 22nd. As far as the Trickster God patch, we will get into that now. So we'll go ahead and read this here for you. Loki's fans and haters alike, the Loki rework is finally here. This Trickster will have a mixture of familiar elements with some entirely new surprises to bring to the battleground. We focused on preserving the stealth assassin feel to his kit, the stealth assassin feel his kit invoked, but remove many of the frustrations surrounding him. Enemies should feel more in control when fighting against a Loki, having options to counter his incoming damage with a larger window to react. Loki main should, however, find an array of new abilities to use when it comes to jungling and teamfighting. All this tied together with stronger lore ties and doubling down on his dagger mastery. Prepare to face his tortured past, and try your best to dodge his flurry of dagger strikes once this god hits the battleground. So big changes coming to Loki, although, yeah, they're all big. I was going to say they still feel similar to Loki, though. It doesn't feel like you're getting a completely new kit. The kit's kind of, it works the same, but it's still totally different. So first off, his increased basic attack damage on the initial hit used to be 80%, is now going to be 100%. So he's just going to be getting bonus damage on his basic there. His Behind You passive. Behind You now has additional interactions with Agonizing Visions and Flurry Strikes, which is going to be his 2 and his 3. So Behind You still kind of works the same with the bonus damage and everything. You just have a lot more options to actually proc that bonus damage now. So Loki's Vanish will now fade into stealth quickly rather than instantly, giving you a little bit of a split second to see him. If Loki takes damage while stealth, he will now be revealed for 0.33 seconds. Now this isn't very long, it's very split, but it's still enough to actually see him, to make it a little bit easier for, players that aren't used to playing against Loki, actually be able to see him and not have to try to track the damage and everything. The audio for this ability has also been adjusted. Friendly Loki stealth is slightly quieter, and then enemy Loki stealth has additional laughter component to help it stand out. Decoy has been removed and replaced by Agonizing Visions, although it is very similar in a sense that you put out this large circle area with a Loki in the center, but instead of the Loki kind of dancing, he's chained up and tortured with acid dripping on his face, so big changes. So Loki summons a vision of his tortured past at a target location for 4 seconds. Enemies in range of the vision feel the poison themselves, taking damage and having their damage dealt reduced. This effect stacks up to 4 times, and if an enemy gets 4 stacks, they become blinded, allowing Loki to benefit from behind you, from any direction for 3 seconds. So whenever you stand in there and it stacks up 4 times, the blinding effect kind of puts this like acidic goo over your screen. You can still see, kind of. You can maneuver around and maybe throw out some abilities, but if you're in a team fight, it's going to be very hard to see exactly what's going on. And then like it says here, if you do get those 4 stacks as well and you are blinded, Loki can now deal behind you, which is his passive, from anywhere. So he basically doesn't have to be behind you. So the damage is going to be 13, scaling up to 33, plus 10% of your physical power. And the damage reduction that the enemy gets when they stay inside it is minus 5% for 2.5 seconds. And it's also obviously a dot damage now, so it's not going to attract any minions to it, basically. This ability will still body block enemies, however. Next up, his Aimed Strike has been removed and is being replaced with Flurry Strikes. So Flurry Strikes, before we even read into it, first think of Daji. I can't think of what ability is or even what order it's in right now because it's been a while, but her little striking ability is very similar to that. Loki unlashes a flurry of 5 dagger strikes quickly in front of him, damaging enemies. After this flurry, he winds up for a final heavy strike that deals higher damage and slows enemies' hit. This ability can benefit from behind you. So basically what that means is if you are behind the enemy when Flurry Strike is enabled, you're going to get bonus damage. And on that final strike, when it swings out, and if you have the behind me procced, it's going to hurt. Now, if you have Agonizing Visions placed down and they get 4 stacks on them, and you are able to proc your behind you from anywhere, that also goes with Flurry Strike. So basically, you throw Agonizing Visions down, they stand in it for 4 ticks. You can now use Flurry Strike in front of them and still get the behind you passive. So there's a lot more kit synergy with Loki than just decoy to clear minions, 1-3 hit run away, or ults in and combo. So there's just a lot more things to actually do other than just bursting down mages, basically. So the flurry damage is going to be 15, scaling up to 55, plus 15% of your physical power, and the final damage is 40, scaling up to 140, plus 60% of your power. So the final hit is very key. If you gotta Aegis it. And the slow is going to be 30% for 3 seconds. So if you are hit by that final one, is a heavy strike, higher damage. Yeah, so the final hit is what's also going to slow you. So the final hit is key, massive damage, and a 30% slow for 3 seconds. And finally, his Assassinate is being reworked, still called Assassinate, still works the same, except now, let's say you have to use it to escape, it's not just totally useless, and you can't, I mean, you can whiff the ultimate, but you really can't whiff it, because if, let's say you're going into ult someone and you miss, it's like, oh god, now what? Now it's not like that, you still have an ability to stun people, yes, people, more than one, with your ultimate after, so it's a 2-part ultimate. It's undergone a heavy adjustment in its functionality. Upon activation, Loki teleports to his ground target location, so that hasn't changed. If an enemy god is within Loki's radius, Loki will slice that target, doing damage and crippling them for 1 second, so they can't leap away or anything like that. After he teleports, he will wind up a heavier strike, damaging all enemies in front of him and stunning them. So the first part of the ultimate is you leap forward, and if you miss, then you just miss. Oh well. If you hit someone, it's going to deal damage and cripples them, and then he winds up for a second strike that has a little cone in front of him, so you can adjust that to get multiple people, even in a team fight. It's going to deal damage and stun them for 1 second. So you can even just ult into a team fight and not have any intentions of hitting anybody, just ult in behind them and get like a 5-man stun off, if you're lucky. So the cripple damage is going to be 70 to 210 plus 35% of your power. That's the initial hit. And then the heavy damage on the swing, which can hit multiple people, will be 100 to 280 plus 90% of your power, and that's going to stun for 1 second. This ability has kept the teleport poof and warning sounds in addition to new sounds to convey the build-up to the stun attack. So that is it for the Loki rework. Big changes coming there. Pretty excited as someone who started off. I think Cupid was technically the first god I played, but Loki was right there after. Very excited. Let me know if you guys are in the comments as well. That is going to be it for this part of the patch. Now we'll go on to the actual god reworks and item balances and stuff like that. First off, we have inclusivity to the battleground. October is LGBT History Month. To commemorate this, they're adding a variety of LGBT flags into the game. You can see all of them down here. This will be given away via a free community event or available for direct purchase. We have some bug fixes here, which I'm not going to go over. I never used to do that in previous videos, and I'm not going to start now. If you guys want to pause the video and read them, however, you are more than welcome to. I'll keep that up there for a second. Next up, we have the Balance with the Trickster God update, which comes out on October 6th. So for game modes, as the fall season is upon us, so is the return of SMITE adventure modes. The team is fully focused on creating a brand new Season 8 Conquest map, so we won't be bringing any new adventures out this year. We will be revisiting Classic Joust, Domination, or Corrupted Arena over the next 3 updates. We are aware that Medusa Deathmatch is a fan favorite, but the 3-team UI of this mode creates many problems in the game and is preventing us from bringing the mode back for now. So Classic Joust mode will be enabled for this update, and it will only be available for play during the Trickster God update, so this time is Classic Joust. So next up we are going to have item balances. First up we have Atalanta's Bow. Decrease the attack speed on it from 30% to 25%. The decreased movement speed while attacking and strafing from 40% to 30%. Silver Branch's Bow, very small there, gets decreased attack speed from 35% to 30%. Gladiator Shield gets a total rework here, so the loss of healing on Gladiator Shield has shaken the solo lane meta to its core. The shakeups were good, but the new item wasn't. We're improving this item in a few more ways to stay true to its spirit as a damage option for tanks. So they decreased the cost from 2,500 to 2,400, and I guess the new passive changed the damage dealt from 15 plus 2 per level to 15 plus 35% of your total protections from magical and physical items. Hold up, let's reread that. To 15 plus 35% of your total protections from items magical and physical from items and abilities. So just basically total protections. Increase the bonus damage activation threshold from 50% to 60%. Next up, Emperor's Armor gets an increased physical protections from 40 to 50. Hide of the Nemean Lion gets an increased protections required per block stack from 100 to 120. And finally, we have the God balances. So first up is On Her. Now this is going to be kind of a coinciding change between On Her and Apollo. First up, On Her's Disperse. They decrease the setup time it takes to jump from 0.275 seconds to 0.15 seconds, and then decrease the leap time from 0.975 to 0.85, essentially just making his leap quicker from the start all the way till the end. He now leaps quicker, and he starts leaping more quickly, so gonna be less predictable, less easily countered, and stuff like that. Next up, we have Apollo, who gets a similar change on his The Moves. Decrease the setup time from 0.2333, such a random number, to 0.15 seconds. Decrease the dash time from 0.65 to 0.58. He travels the same distance in less time and starts traveling quicker, so same thing with On Her. Also, Aries getting changes here. Big fan of this as an Aries player myself. Hopefully get back into him as well. Bolstered Defenses now provides 10 to 30 HP 5 to himself and allies affected by the aura, officially not making it now one of the most useless abilities in the game. I don't know if any other person, I know other people did this, but myself, I just upgraded this last. I'd upgrade his 1, his 3, and his ult before I even touched this. So yeah, hopefully this will change that. RTO getting changes to her Energy Surge. Increase the Energy Surge heal. Used to scale from 40 to 120, is now 60 to 140 per enemy god hit, which is just a revert from a previous change. Baron Samedi's Vivid Gaze increased the magical power scaling from 60% to 70%. It says 69% to 80.5% when hitting both beams. So pretty big changes there. Fenrir, his Unchained, increased the base damage. Used to be 75 to 315, is now 85 to 325. And Ragnarok gets an increased movement speed buff from 50% to 70%. So from what I remember, those seem to be some pretty decent changes to Fenrir there. Hachimen's Eagle Eye gets a change here. Increased bonus damage from under 55 range, used to be 10 to 25, and over 55 range, used to be 0 to 15, have both been increased to 10 to 30. This ability now deals damage the same amount over all different ranges. Osiris, his Sickle Strike increased the physical power scaling from 40% to 45%. Lord of the Afterlife gets an increased max range of the leap from 55 units to 65 units. Serket, her Ambush, increased the physical power scaling on it from 50% to 70%, and Cobra's Kiss gets a decreased cooldown from 18 seconds to 16 seconds. Two good changes there. Vamana, his Colossal Fury is getting the only change here, and the final change of this patch, decrease the movement penalty for attacking, backpedaling, and strafing by 20% while this ability is active. Again, I liked Vamana as well. Like Serket on occasion, was a big fan of Fenrir, loved Aries, loved Loki, so this is a great patch for me to come back in. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like, hit subscribe for more content like this. When the PTS is live, and maybe it is already live now, I will go on there and once again do all the updates on all the skins like I used to. And then obviously the first one I'm going to be doing is the Loki Rework, and to take a look at him, how his kit works. Don't think the voice pack has changed at all, and then I want to do a comparison side by side to pre-Loki and new Loki as well. So like I said, if you are interested in those, be sure to subscribe, and thank you for watching.